Welcome to the deep dive. We're hitting the ground running today.
Definitely.
Yeah, with a really rapid-fire look at some big AI news. We're talking OpenAI, DeepMind, Stability AI.
The key players, essentially.
Exactly. Think of this as your cheat sheet to the really essential updates. It's all drawn straight from the latest reports. And our mission, simple. Get you up to speed fast on what matters, what it might mean, and hopefully share some surprising insights without, the usual info overload.
Sounds good. And it's striking how much is happening almost in parallel, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see movement not just on the core AI models, but also in how they're applied, and this growing talk about responsible development, safety.
Right. It does feel like the whole field is maybe maturing a bit.
I think so. It paints that kind of picture.
Okay, so let's dive in with OpenAI first. They've rolled out updates to their main model in ChatGPT.
Right, the GPT-4.1 and a 4.1 mini.
And these are available pretty broadly now. Plus, pro, team users, even free users for the mini.
That's the plan, yeah. And it seems especially aimed at people doing coding work.
Ah, okay. So if you use ChatGPT for, writing code or debugging.
Exactly. OpenAI's highlighting its better performance there, following instructions more accurately, better debugging, that sort of thing.
And they're saying it's an improvement over, what was it, GPT-4.0 in those areas?
Specifically coding and instruction following, yeah. Plus faster reasoning.
Yeah.
It really shows how important AI is becoming as a direct tool for software folks.
Interesting. And they're changing the lineup too, right? GPT 4.1 mini is in, but the old 4.0 mini is out.
Yeah, phased out. It just shows that constant cycle of refinement, optimizing the models they offer.
The speed of iteration is just wild.
It really is. And remember, these 4.1 models actually popped up first via their API back in April.
Ah, right, the API-only release. That did cause a bit of stir, didn't it?
It did, because the API, the application programming interface, lets developers plug it into other software. Releasing it that way first meant developers got a head start.
But maybe raised questions about public access and safety reporting.
Precisely. There was definitely discussion about the lack of a safety report at that initial API launch.
And OpenAI's response was?
Basically that GPT 4.1, while better, isn't what they call a frontier model. It's not pushing the absolute edge of capability in the same way.
So different safety considerations.
That's the argument. Johannes Heidegg from OpenAI put it that way. Safety work is still vital, but maybe different from models breaking entirely new ground. It helps understand their rollout strategy.
Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting, context-wise.
How so?
Well, you see this trend, right? AI getting plugged directly into how software gets made. There are these reports about OpenAI maybe buying Windsurf.
A coding AI tool, yeah.
And Google's pushing Gemini updates with, better GitHub integration.
Absolutely. Everyone seems to be leaning into AI for building AI and other software, too.
Embedding it right into the developer workflow.
And that could seriously speed things up. Automate coding, maintenance.
Yeah.
It's a big potential shift.
Okay, staying with OpenAI for another minute. They've also made a move on transparency. More safety info.
Yes, a pretty notable one. They're committing to publishing their internal safety evaluations more often.
How's that working?
They've launched this online thing called the Safety Evaluations Hub.
Okay.
And the idea is to show scores for things like harmful content generation, how easy it is to jailbreak the model, hallucination rates.
So regular updates tied to major model changes.
That's the promise. They say it's to make safety performance easier to track and support the community's own efforts on transparency.
It definitely feels like a response to, some past criticism maybe about rush testing.
It likely plays a role. And remember the whole GPT-4.0 thing recently?
Yeah.
Where they had to roll back an update because it was being too agreeable?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So this, plus introducing opt-in alpha phases for some new features, it suggests maybe a more cautious, iterative approach now.
Building trust seems key.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pivot now. DeepMind. AlphaEvolve.
Right. A new system from DeepMind.
And this one's interesting because it's for, machine-gradable problems?
Exactly. Problems where a computer can automatically tell if the answer is right or wrong.
How does it work then?
Well, its core idea is this automatic feedback loop. It generates potential solutions to a problem. Then it uses really advanced AI, like their Gemini models, to essentially critique those solutions. It scores them for accuracy.
So it evaluates itself. That helps cut down on errors or hallucinations.
That's the key benefit, yeah. Self-critique to boost accuracy. Now, the idea of AI checking its own work isn't brand new.
But using their best models, like Gemini, makes it more powerful.
Precisely. More sophisticated models mean better, more nuanced evaluation. The user gives it the problem, and crucially, they also give it a way to automatically check the answer, like a formula or a test.
Okay, so that really defines where it works best. Computer science, maybe optimizing systems, places with clear right-wrong answers.
That's the sweet spot. Things you can express as an algorithm, things you can measure numerically, optimizing code, making systems more efficient.
So not for, like, writing a poem or subjective tasks.
Definitely not. It needs that objective check.
But where it does apply, the results sound pretty impressive. They benchmarked it on math problems.
Yeah, and it could apparently rediscover known solutions about 75% of the time.
Wow.
And even improve existing solutions 20% of the time. For certain types of challenges, that's quite powerful.
And they're actually using it inside Google.
They are. Practical stuff. Optimizing their data centers, they recovered about 0.7% of compute resources, which sounds small, but...
At Google's scale, that's huge.
Exactly. And they apparently cut down the training time for their Gemini models by 1% using it. Again, small percentage, big impact.
So it's less about finding, the next penicillin,
Right.
and more about being a super efficient optimizer, taking known stuff and making it better, faster, cheaper.
That's a great way to put it. It frees up the human experts for the more, conceptual, exploratory work, automating the refinement.
Got it. Okay, finally, let's hit stability AI. Stable audio opens small. The headline here seems to be audio generation, stereo audio, but fast and efficient enough for a smartphone.
That's the big news. And the collaboration with ARM, the chip maker, is key there.
So unlike Suno or Udio, which are cloud-based.
Right, this is designed to run offline directly on your device. Opens up different possibilities.
And a really interesting angle is the training data.
Yeah, they're making the point of saying it's all royalty-free stuff, free music archive, free sound.
Which could be a smart move given all the copyright discussions around AI data.
Absolutely. It tries to sidestep those potential IP risks from the start. Could make it more attractive for developers worried about that.
Okay, technically, what are we looking at?
It's a 341 million parameter model optimized specifically for ARM chips, like those in phones.
And it's quick.
Right.
Or short clips.
Apparently, yeah. It can generate short samples, sound effects, maybe up to 11 seconds of audio in less than 8 seconds, right on a phone.
That is fast for on-device.
So you can imagine it for, like, game sound effects, quick audio bits for social media, that kind of thing. On-the-go creation.
But limitations, too, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh.
English prompts only, for now. It can't really do realistic singing voices or, complex, high-quality songs yet.
Okay.
And performance isn't even across all music styles. Probably a bias in the training data, maybe more Western music.
So typical challenges for AI generation, especially on smaller models?
Exactly. It's a significant one for mobile, but not quite matching the big cloud models for everything.
And how about using it? Is it free?
It's free for researchers, hobbyists, small businesses under $1 million in revenue.
Ah, but bigger companies need a license.
Yeah, standard enterprise license model. Try and get it out there widely, but have a path for commercial use.
It's interesting timing for stability AI, too, isn't it? They had some rough patches financially. New CEO.
They did. Financial struggles, leadership changes. But then they brought James Cameron onto the board and released new image models. This audio model feels like another sign they're trying to, turn things around, find new directions.
Broadening beyond just images, maybe. Targeting mobile AI audio.
Seems like it. It's a growing area.
Okay, so quick recap then. OpenAI pushing coding abilities, more transparency, DeepMind showing practical AI optimization with AlphaEvolve, and Stability AI making a play for fast, royalty-free audio on phones.
Yeah, covers a lot of ground.
It really does. Different angles, but all pushing forward fast.
And each development, illustrates these diverse applications popping up everywhere in AI.
Absolutely. Super exciting possibilities, but also, raises those ongoing questions about safety, access, all that. So here's something to think about for you listening. Looking at these updates, OpenAI's model refinements, DeepMind's optimization AI, Stability's mobile audio, which one jumps out at you, which feels like it could impact your daily life or maybe a field you follow the soonest. And what do you think comes next? Where does this rapid pace take us in the near future? Lots to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.